Hi, you are logged on to Internet Television International ITI. I am Rachel Owa. Here's what's making news in our national dailies. From Daily Trust newspaper comes this caption, 2011 Jonathan Buhari meet. President Goodluck Jonathan yesterday held a meeting with former head of state Muhammadu Buhari as part of consultations with top political leaders in the country ahead of the presidential election in which the president is likely to be a candidate. From People's Daily comes the news, 2011 Northern Union rules out Jonathan. The Northern Union NU, headed by former Senate leader Dr. Olushola Saraki, yesterday ruled out President Goodluck Jonathan from the 2011 presidential election, saying the race is now between former military president Ibrahim Badoumas Babangida and two serving governors who are yet to declare their ambitions. Daily Trust newspaper, Northern Youth Group plan anti-Jonathan rally. Youths from across the 19 northern states of the country under the aegis of the Arewa Citizens Action for Change ACAC yesterday ended their meeting in Kaduna State with a resolution to organize a rally in Abuja next month to ensure that power returns to the north. Daily Trust newspaper ANPP says incumbency won't work in Zamfara State. Chairman of the All Nigerian People's Party NPP in Zamfara State, Alhaji Lawali Abubakar Kaura, has said that the era of using incumbency to remain in power is over and no longer tenable. Daily Trust newspaper, INEC timetable to be released before September 11. The paper reports that the long-awaited INEC timetable for the 2011 general elections is to be out before September 11, 2010, adding that the delay in the release of the election guidelines is due to the Electoral Act and that the Commission is not in a hurry to release the guidelines. We move over to Punch newspaper now. Nigeria at 50. ACN asks federal government to withdraw beggarly later for 401 million naira. The Action Congress of Nigeria on Tuesday asked the federal government to withdraw its later to 17 major companies in the country soliciting donations to fund advert placement on Nigeria's 50th independence anniversary celebration in an international newspaper, the International Herald Tribune. To other news now, Punch newspaper has the screaming headline, Akingbola may regain freedom today. Former Chief Executive Officer of Intercontinental Bank PLC, Mr. Rastus Akingbola, may regain temporary freedom today. The paper reports that the former chairman had met most of the bail conditions, but the documents provided by Shorties were yet to be confirmed and verified by the relevant authorities. From People's Daily, 9 billion naira scam, Bankole still under investigation, says EFCC. Speaker Ademeji Bankole is yet to be left off the hook, as the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission EFCC yesterday said it is still investigating him for alleged misappropriation of capital budget of the House of Representatives. From the same paper, Jang takes over deputy's official residence. The simmering crisis brewing between Governor John Ajang and his deputy, Mrs. Pauline Talon, appears to have gone out of proportion, as the governor is said to have relocated to the official residence of his deputy in a manner that has set tongues wagging. And in business, the Nation newspaper has this caption, budget likely to run till next March, says Bankole. House of Representatives Speaker Ademeji Bankole says this year's budget may run till March next year. This, he said, was to ensure that money appropriated for different projects currently ongoing across the country and not returned unnecessarily into the treasury as unspent funds. From next newspaper, electricity workers fault power roadmap. The National Union of Electricity Employees yesterday described the roadmap for the development of the country's power sector announced by President Goodluck Jonathan last week as a blueprint for failure, as it was not a product of consultation. From Leadership newspaper, NCC sets up task force on service quality. Executive Vice Chairman of the Nigerian Communications Commission, NCC, Dr. Eugene Juwa, has set up a task force within the commission to address all issues concerning service quality offered by telecommunications service providers in the country. From Leadership newspaper again, 27 billion naira loss, man accuses customs of sabotage. The Manufacturers Association of Nigerian Man has described the recent claims by the Nigerian Customs Service that it has lost over 27 billion naira, which should have accrued to the service as charges due to the implementation of the export expansion scheme between January and June as a plot to sabotage federal government efforts in promoting non-oil export in the country. From Guardian newspaper, government inaugurates joint Nigeria-Brazil Energy Cooperation Working Group. Vice President Namadi Sambo has inaugurated the joint Nigeria-Brazil Energy Cooperation Working Group. Speaking at the inauguration of the committee, Vice President Sambo noted that it is part of the policy of the administration to develop the key sectors of the economy. We move over to sports now. Daily Trust newspaper, Eagles Nations Cup tie moved to Calabar. The paper reports that Nigeria Football Federation NFF have now moved Sunday's Africa Cup of Nations qualifier against Madagascar to the coastal town of Calabar from Abuja. Heartland stops Chibambo from Zambian camp. That's from the Guardian newspaper. CAF Champions League hopeful Heartland of Owerri will not release Zambian international striker Signs Wonder Chibambo for his country's Nations Cup qualifier this weekend because it is also preparing for a crucial CAF Champions League tie in Egypt. Iguavon wants support for home-based players, Nation newspaper. Super Eagles chief coach Osni Iguavon has revealed that if the planned restructuring of the Super Eagles is to be a reality, the home-based players should be encouraged. Speaking to Nation Sport in Abuja, the former international did not hide his anger over how the home-based players were abandoned by the sporting press when they were in camp preparing for the friendly match against South Africa. That's it on this week's mid-edition of Headlines Nigeria. I am Rachel Owa. Thanks for logging on.